Hey, it's Seto Kaiba, and you're watching Anime Egotists. I don't know why. These guys don't know how to duel, unless they learned from Yugi, who cheats, or maybe Joey, who's a dog. Oh, why don't you have some more jelly donuts, like Brock, and maybe you'll get better. Not. Oh, and I play my Blue Eyes White Dragon and kick your butts.
And welcome back to the Anime Egotists, where the Titans wouldn't bother trying to eat us.
Yeah, we're not worth it.
No, not at all. My name's Alex, and if I'm being 100% honest, I really don't know that much about Digimon.
Okay. I'm Richard. I might know a bit more than he does then.
That's right. But if you guys recall, a couple of weeks ago, we did an episode about the anime that we haven't seen before. You remember that episode, right?
Yeah, we talked about the stuff that's kind of been on our list, but always seems to get pushed to the side for something else. But they are on our lists to sit down and actually watch at some point.
Yeah, that's the key. We haven't seen these, but we plan on it. That being said, though, there are some anime that we're probably just never going to get around to watching because, frankly, they just don't look good to us.
Yeah, and it could be a whole bunch of different reasons. I mean, I got one or two things that I think are considered, like, really popular, but I just don't want to watch them.
Yeah, and to be clear, we're not necessarily saying we think these anime are bad. Some of them might be really, really good, but it's a matter of preference. There's a good to fair chance that we're not all going to see every single anime, and because that would just be exhausting. But we just want to cover the ones that it's just, we don't particularly want to watch these. Maybe we'll change our minds, but I kind of doubt it.
Exactly. I mean, if this ever pans out and we start making good money off of it, then maybe we'll sit down and watch some of these. Because we'll have.
No, one of these I claim I never want to. Do you mind if I start us off?
Go right ahead.
Okay. Normally, the past several months that we've been doing this, I generally do this in the list of I start off with the small stuff and I end with the biggest thing. But no, this anime, I just want to get this out of the way because I don't ever want to watch this. It's like the worst anime episodes where I started off with the School Days episode because it was just horrible. But I want to say the anime that I never want to watch, Kodomo no Jikan.
Okay.
Do you know at all the anime I'm talking about?
No, this one does not sound familiar to me.
Oh no! Oh, I know for a fact that I don't know. You haven't seen it, but I know for a fact that you know the show I'm talking about. Once I explain it, so Richard, you know that I tend to like more school-based anime. Like we both tend to enjoy school-based shows, whether it's the schools at like a dual academy or just fun because schools and anime just seem fun. That being said, though, there's only so much that can save that. When I find basically the very little I know about the show, the main characters seem to kind of bother me. It's a bunch of students and their teacher. But here's the thing, it doesn't matter how charming you make a series. It doesn't matter how likable the characters are. It doesn't matter when the teacher and when the student falls in love with the teacher. It sounds a little, and some of you might be thinking, "Oh, well, that it happens all the time. It's a simple crush," but it doesn't really help when the girl is 7 years. No.
Okay,
No.
yeah, no, I once you said that part, I knew which anime this was. Okay, yeah, no, I can understand it and 100% sign on already.
And some of you might be thinking, "Yeah, but no." No, I look. We normally sarcastically say if you disagree, you're wrong. But no, you can't come at me like this is a normal thing. Like, yeah, but no, absolutely not. I don't care how much older they age. I don't care how charming it is. It's creepy.
I mean, it's fine if the 7-year-old has a crush on the teacher, but from my understanding, the teacher in this anime promises some stuff and falls in love with the kid. That's the part that's no.
Yeah. Yeah. Just no. Absolutely not. No.
100% cosign. Once you described it, I knew exactly which show, and I put this out of my mind. I didn't even remember it existed until you told me about this.
You're a very strong man, but I don't even want to say the name of it anymore. Let's move on before I start crying.
All right. So my first one is one that's very heavily censored here. And it just never looked good, even the scenes I've seen that are uncensored, and that's Terraform Mars.
Yeah.
So, from my understanding, it's a group of, or like a colony on Mars is running experiments, and they're doing it on cockroaches and pretty much mutate roaches into these like JoJo style, massive, like muscular monsters. I don't know how else to put it. And they go around and just keep killing everybody. And I don't know, I like sci-fi, and it seems like it might have been up my alley, but God, it just, from my understanding, it's so heavily censored here. It's just not worth seeing.
Yeah. I'm going to be completely honest. It's not necessarily that I doubt that there's some horror stuff that's good. It's just a case of, well, it's kind of hard to get into because everybody talks about, oh, this scene when this person dies or gets their head cut off or something like that. I'm just like, how's the story? How are the characters? That sort of thing. But nobody ever knows how to sell me on it. Maybe it's good, but at the same time, y'all got to do a better job of selling me on stuff like that.
Exactly. And the animation is one of those early computer generated more, from, if I remember correctly, and it's not done the best because it's that early style of where they're trying to make it look better.
Yeah, to be fair though, we've said that CG in anime is not necessarily a bad thing, but when it looks bad, it's yeah, it can be kind of a tough sell.
Yeah, just a combination of things. This one just never interested me. Besides, like reading the description at one point, it's like, okay, that could be interesting, and then having read reviews and seen scenes from it, yeah, it's just no, I'm good.
Yeah, and I can co-sign on to that. I thought about putting it on my list, but I'm just like, is it even worth it at this point? Is it?
At least we talked about it.
That is a good point. But anyways, should we move on to my next one?
Yes, go right ahead.
Plastic Memories.
Okay.
Do you know what this show is at all?
The name's familiar, but I don't. I know as soon as you tell me what it is, I'll know what the anime is.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know Plastic Memories, it's basically in the future where everybody has like their own personal robot. They go on living their lives, but at some point the robot basically loses it. It basically you have to replace it, and it kind of dies. That and now on the one hand, some of you might be thinking, "Well, you're such a huge Chobits fan, and it basically has the same premise." And I'm like, in one sense, yes, but on the other hand, my kind of problem is whenever people describe the show to me, they say, "Oh, it's like Chobits, but it's more mature, it's dark, and it's not goofy at all." I'm like, but that's kind of what I liked about Chobits. Sure, it had thought-provoking questions and everything, but it was flippin' goofy. Whenever I hear stuff about Plastic Memories and I've seen clips and stuff about it, I'm just like, this doesn't really interest me because everything feels like such a sad, dramatic moment. And when everything feels that way, it kind of undercuts the moments of it.
Yeah, it sounds. Yeah, I mean, I I haven't seen Showbits and I haven't seen this, so I don't know. But it does sound like it's the dark moments. It almost feels like, okay, it should be leading up to like a robot rebellion or something at the end of the
Yeah.
series.
Yeah.
So
Like, and the thing is, people and I guess the other thing is, and I don't like getting into this part of it, but whenever people just automatically say, "Oh, well, it's not showbiz. It's better. I'm like, so the way you're going to get me into the show you like is to bash the show I like? You don't know how this works, do you? That's not really how that works. But just I don't know. Oh, I don't want to dump on the fan base too much for it, just because like I try not to do that. But it just does. It seems like it's a little too dramatic for me. Like it doesn't seem like there is enough moments where I can actually laugh. Because contrary to popular belief, I like goofy, weird stuff.
Yeah, again, it might be something up my alley, but I don't know off the top of my head. I don't recognize it well enough.
Yeah, ironic. The anime that we're always talking about how we need to talk about more variety of anime on the channel, and we do that when we specifically say we haven't seen these.
Yep. So we're going based on basic descriptions and knowledge that we've gained through people and reviews telling us what to think.
Yeah, but basically, I mean, I know other people who do that, but at least we're honest about it.
Yeah.
All right, so what's your next one?
All right, this one I think you're probably gonna agree with. I don't know if you've seen any of it, but that's High School DxD.
I've seen a couple of episodes thanks to Jabari.
Yeah, I couldn't remember if it was him or I had another friend I think who may have tried to get me into it, but I just never got into this. And I mean, I like a lot of these fantasy demons and stuff anime. I've watched Blue Exorcist, I've watched Fairy Tail, I've watched Bleach. But this one, I don't know. The fan service goes to extreme in this. I already know that. I just, yeah, it makes Fairy Tail look like every character is dressed like a nun, from my understanding.
Yeah, I have heard. As somebody who's seen the first few episodes, like on the one hand, it is kind of interesting to some degree because you're like, because you meet all these characters, they have their cool powers and everything. But like I've said before, I'm really not a fan of the trope of one person is surrounded by a bunch of beautiful women. One guy is surrounded by a bunch of beautiful girls, or the girl is surrounded by a bunch of beautiful guys, and they basically have to decide. Like, I'm just not a fan of it because it limits what you can do with the characters. Like the only show that I really liked that did it was Ouran High School Host Club, but that's because they made the guys characters rather than just objects.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, fan service doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing. Is it always needed? No. But from my understanding, it plays a major role, like with his healing or something. And yeah, I'm just like, okay, well, I can skip this, and I just have never been interested in going back. As I said, I think I may have seen one or two episodes, but I think that was through Jabari as well.
Yeah, it's funny. He showed me the versions that was like people are just completely naked. And I'm just like, this isn't going well for me. It's like, oh, we'll try the censored version. I'm like, why didn't you show me that? I'm like, it was funnier this way. And then I threw something at him, so it was worth it.
No, but that sounds like something he would do. So
yeah, he wants to get back on, and I'm happy for it. But we just have to talk schedules and everything.
Yeah, and pick a video that he can create his own topic or part for it. So
yeah, but overall, High School DxD, maybe it's good, but no, maybe it's good, but who knows? Who knows?
Yeah. All right, your next one.
Oh goodness. Oh goodness. Sword Art Online.
Okay.
Look, I'm sure Sword Art Online has a lot of stuff that could be cool. Some of the fights could be cool. I will say, I've listened to some of the openings, and the openings are solid. I thoroughly enjoy some of the openings. But to me, it's not a good sign when everybody tells me, okay, well, season 1 or the first part is really good, but everything after that is bad. I don't really want to go through the effort. And who knows, maybe I'll watch everything afterwards. I'll be like, oh, this actually isn't so bad. I can actually find a way to live with this. But no, no. It's not a good sign when even the most hardcore fans are like, yeah, I don't know why I'm still watching this.
Yeah, I can understand not liking it. I personally enjoy. I enjoyed the first part and bits and pieces here and there, but it's one of those anime that really probably shouldn't have lasted as long as it has, because it just seems to keep going and going, and they build on stuff, and it's like, okay, how are they going to up the stakes from last time when they were trapped in a video game and one wrong move and they're dead?
Yeah, not to mention, it's another one of those cases where I primarily hear, oh, well, Kirito has this character, Kirito and this girl end up having these moments. So I'm like, why should I care at all at the quote unquote romantic or sexual moments between the two? Because aren't he and Asuna married or something like that?
They got married in the first game, but they've kind of tried to promise each other that they'll get married in the real world, and that was, I don't know, 4 seasons ago.
You can understand that why that would be a little bit frustrating for me.
Yeah, especially because every season they seem to introduce a new girl just to kind of get in the way and be a new love interest. At one point, it was his sister in disguise. That was season 2 or part 2. I can't remember which. Um, there was a girl from the Gun Gales game. I can't remember her name. And then the most recent one is a virtual girl in a game that is pretty much trying to recreate human consciousness in video games.
Because, of course. Okay, and based on what you told me, they seem to take away focus from other characters. Like, I remember the character you specifically said you would have liked to have gotten more in the series. But if he's likable enough that you notice, oh man, he's really cool. Oh, wait, he's not doing anything. That's one of the most frustrating things for me. And it'd be one thing if you told me, oh, but the characters who replace him, they're cool. They have their own story, but it's just like, no, they kind of just exist just to kind of flock over Kirito.
Yep. No, that's unfortunately the issue. His name is Klein, and he's sort of just like, you think he's going to be his best friend, and he just kind of is abandoned after episode 1. He shows up maybe every 4 or 5 episodes in the original part and a few times in the later seasons, but he's never like right there as like, oh, he should be the best friend, always there helping fight, and nope, he shows up for some of the battles.
Does he even have like somebody who likes him or another person he hangs out with or anything?
Yeah, he's got like his own like in the first season the reason he doesn't go with Kirito is because some of his friends are also in the game, and they form a clan group together to battle pretty much.
Do they at least have a cool group pose?
Actually, I think they do.
Okay, you're gonna have to find that for me. But overall, Sword Art Online, it doesn't seem like it's for me. It doesn't seem like it's for me personally.
I can completely understand.
I'm sorry, he showed up.
No, it's okay. And all
right, so what's your next anime?
All right, so this one was one that I had a friend in high school constantly push it down my throat and tell me,
no.
"Oh my god, it's amazing." And probably for a high schooler, it might be good. Oh, and there's the other one. Aw.
Yeah, once again, they keep showing up. I apologize.
I do the same thing, but mine's asleep and too big to move that far.
Yeah, but anyways, this anime that your friend kept shoving down your throat.
High School of the Dead.
Yeah, it wasn't on my list, but I kind of get it.
Yeah, I've never been a big zombie fan. I mean,
neither.
It's just like half of The Walking Dead was filmed in like my hometown, like literally 10 minutes from my house. And but my friend was all into zombies. He loved The Walking Dead, and he found this anime, and it's, I don't know, the characters don't seem that likable. I think I may have seen the first episode, but they seem to like not get along very well. They're all just trying to survive, which is understandable. It's a zombie apocalypse, but it's just, how to put it, it just always seems to not be my thing with, as I said, with zombies. And then I know there's a lot of fan service, and this one's the stereotypical because I'm pretty sure this is where that there's a meme of anime boob physics, and it comes from this. And it's like they shoot between one of the characters' breasts, I think.
I didn't think you'd actually come out and say that, but yeah, I kind of have to agree. When they make the fan service the plot of something, unless they explicitly make it hilarious and they're noting, hey, we're making fun of this, then it's okay. This seems intentional. Like it seemed like the animators were like, oh, good guys, good job, good job. That was great, good. That's exactly what we wanted.
Yeah, this is just not my cup of tea. I'm not a big fan, but I had a friend who's really tried to get me to watch it, and I don't think I ever will.
Do you think he's listening to this as we're recording it? Well, as we're recording it, that wouldn't make any sense. Do you think he'll ever listen to this?
I don't know. I haven't told him that it exists. I still hang out with him on occasion, but
Oh goodness. But yeah, hopefully he forgives you.
yeah, probably.
All right. So I first, and I can co-sign. Can I go to my next one?
Yep, go right ahead.
Okay. We haven't really talked about shows that each of us have seen that neither of us have interest in, but I'm gonna come out and say this one: Food Wars.
Okay.
Honestly, it's not the weird reactions when people eat their food. It's not the fact that you talk about Arena being kind of frustrating in terms of character development. It's honestly none of that. The food looks too good. And I'm gonna want to eat some of it, and I'm gonna want to cook it, and I'm gonna go broke. Oh, it seems like it could be a good process. Oh, I get to see all this food we made. But on my end, it seems torturous. I'm seeing all this amazing food, and I'm not the one who gets to eat it. And I'm a good cook, but I feel like especially with my parents running around the kitchen while I'm trying to cook, even though it's so much easier, just wait until I'm done. And I feel like it's just easier for me if I don't watch something that makes me think I'm hungry.
No, I can understand that I've actually looked up the at least some of the first season has a large number, like there's a recipe book I think out for it. There might be like each season gets one because there's so many recipes usually a season, but
Well, I know what I'm getting you for Christmas.
as long as I cook it for you, right? I assume.
That was that ever in doubt?
No, but I mean, I'm just thinking like the very first recipe is the one I like. I really want to try it. I think he calls it like fake meat, and it's or fake premium meat or something like that. And he uses like potatoes and bacon because that's all he has available to him, and he makes something that tastes like a lot of meat, and he's supposedly really good. And even like the recipes that I found online are like 4.5 and higher rating, and that's like the low end.
Yeah, but you understand. Like, honestly, this could have been an honorable mention for just how ridiculous the reasoning is. But your boy is trying. Your boy is working out. Your boy is trying to cut back. I don't need temptation at this point.
No, I can understand though. Yeah, and I know other people don't like it because of the reactions and the kind of frustrating character development for some characters, like you said with Erina. It's so I can understand not liking this show or not wanting to watch it if you've heard about different things that already happened in it, which you've heard plenty from me.
Yeah, but to be fair, if I wanted to see somebody who gets really weird over the reactions to eating something, I would watch you drink eggnog because that gets scary.
I thought you were going to bring up Reese and forgetting how to eat mac and cheese.
Well, that or you eating those 3 packs of sour straws when we first moved in together. That was a terrifying experience. See, you didn't think I remembered that.
Oh God, I can't have that much sugar anymore.
I can't either, but like I said, Food Wars. Maybe it's a great show. It's probably a great show, but I can't tempt myself with all that food.
I understand. So my next one.
Go. Okay, just to clear things up, do you have any that I've tried to talk about? And oh boy, let's just hear yours.
No, I don't. I don't know. Because some of them seem interesting, and I want to. Let's see. So my next one is Neon Genesis Evangelion. I really have no interest in
Yeah.
seeing this.
No, me either.
Well, I've been told it's considered one of the best animes of all time, and then, but it's like, well, you have to watch through like the second to last episode, then you have to stop that episode and go watch movie 2.5, insert random name title, and that's the best ending for the series.
Ironically, I
When
feel like I told you the same thing with How I Met Your Mother, yet we still sat through all of it.
yeah, we did, but they just they've put, so from my understanding, there's like 15 endings or something now, like between like remakes of the ending and the different movies and their endings, and it's just that part, and then the series and the descriptions of how people just, none of the characters seem likable. Even the main character is like considered like really, really not good.
Yeah. Shinji, that's his name, right?
Yeah, because it's what, Shinji getting the robot or something.
Yeah, and like I've talked about before, that scene where what's her name, Asuka? That scene with Asuka. That no,
Yeah, it's, and I mean, no one's, as I said, no one seems likable in the series. And I think we even talked about it before that characters can, really good characters can make up for a bad story, but a bad but a good story doesn't always make up for bad characters.
exactly. I'm glad that you're coming around to that because the first time I tried to explain it, you didn't seem to understand what I meant, which is fair because sometimes I can't explain myself very well, but you seem to understand what I mean by that.
Yeah, I kind of think this might be that same thing. I may eventually go watch it because it is considered one of the greatest of all time, but right now it's nowhere on my watch list. Like I have no interest in seeing it right now.
Yeah, and I kind of agree. A lot of people in some of my group chats are like, "Oh, it's so good." I'm just like, someday, maybe someday, but not anytime soon.
Exactly.
Honorable mention time already?
Yep.
All right, okay, one of these is an honorable mention because it's a whole genre. And so like I said, it's an honorable mention. It kind of works. Any incest anime.
Okay, no, I can completely co-sign.
It, I don't want to say any more than that, but a lot of people will tell. And once again, it's the fact that so many people try to defend it, and then there are people who tell me, "Yeah, but it's a story about these two boys coming together and deciding to be in a relationship. Isn't that a good thing?" I'm like, first of all, I love the idea that we can show two boys being in a relationship, two girls being in a relationship. I don't really care. Love who you want to love. Love wins. I understand that. But I don't want to go through the mental gymnastics of thinking, oh, well, it turns out they're brothers, but they actually weren't adopted at the same time, so he's his dad or his uncle. No. It ruins it. No. I don't. I feel like I shouldn't have to say anything more than that, which is why it's an honorable mention. But it's icky. It's no.
Yeah, no, I completely understand and co-sign. I have no interest in, they're somehow related but don't realize it, or do realize it and still decide that that's what they want to pursue, because that seems like that happens a lot in
Yeah.
anime.
Yeah, I remember we had to try to explain this to the other guys, and they're like, "That doesn't actually happen, does it?" And we're like, "Are you want to bet? You want to bet on that?
Give us 5 seconds.
Just give us 5 seconds." It wouldn't bother me so much if it was like considered taboo. But there are so many people who are well, it's not about the incident. It is. It is. Stop.
Mhm.
So, like if you can still watch it, fine, I guess. But do not try and act like this is something that everybody should be watching.
Yeah, no, it's not worth pursuing that in my opinion at all. So,
No,
uh, yeah.
no.
All right, my first honorable mention
Go for it.
is the Dagon Rampa series. So This one, I know it's, from my understanding, it's kind of, it follows, it's a video game first, then a anime series.
I believe that is correct. I wouldn't know completely know though.
Yeah. But it's, from my understanding, the mascot, it pretty much has like people hunt each other or kill each other in little games. And like the winner is the only one who gets to go home at the end of the day. It's, and it takes place in like you're in a high school. It's just, I don't know. I don't care for death game kind of style stuff. I thought about.
Ironically, I think our astronomy teacher had the same philosophy. Whoever's still alive can go home afterwards.
Well, yeah, that's it. That explains why she threw the rock at me.
That was the best day of class I've ever had.
Oh God, no, but yeah, I just, some of the, how to put it, I've never been a fan of this one, and the animation, there are parts that almost look like it's flash animation, which is kind of sad because from my understanding, this has a big budget from some of them. Now that might just be one season or one specific scene, and it was done for a specific reason. I don't know, but yeah, I've never been interested in this. It might be good, but I'm not interested.
Yeah, I mean, on the one hand, I kind of agree, but on the other hand, I've looked at some of the video games, and I'm kind of like, maybe if I tried the video games first, maybe I could get into the anime. And I do have a couple of friends who are who've been talking about it lately, so I kind of agree and disagree because there's a tiny part of me that is curious about it, but I don't know if I'll ever commit to it.
Yeah, I mean, this is one that I would probably play the video game before I would watch. I have no interest in watching it, but maybe the games are more interesting, and but I don't know if what I've seen that's the video game and what I've seen that's the anime itself. So
Yeah, I can understand that, but yeah, I can kind of co-sign onto that, but I'm not completely out of the woods of it yet.
okay,
All right, so my next one,
yep,
the Monokatari series.
okay,
I'm being honest, I really don't know that much about this show. Oh, it seems cool. The animation and the art style seem interesting, and I've heard there's some cool moments. But it just seems like it's way too much trouble to go out and find. Like it's like, oh, there's Nisei Monogatari, and there's too many series that people talk about of it for me to try and think to myself, oh, okay, I have to watch this series, but then I have to go to this other site to watch this series, and I have to go back and watch this other series. It seems like a lot of work on my end, and it just in some cases it doesn't really seem like it's worth it.
yeah, I can understand that. I mean, at one point I almost gave up on the Fate series, but again, it's still on my list. I just have to get around to watching one of the first series, but it kept putting that off because it was, how to put it, yeah, it was hard to figure out what was the right order to watch it in and make sure I had access to all the series at the exact same time.
Yeah. Not to mention, from what I've heard, it is also another one of those series where it's like, oh, well, the main character's a guy, and he has all these other girls who are part of the show, and I'm just like, no, 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 thanks. And the less said about the main character brushing his sister's teeth, the better.
Ah, so it's that one. Okay.
As far as I know, either that or I'm either that or I need to be angry at a different show. But overall, like I said, I don't know the most about Monogatari, but it doesn't seem like my cup of tea. And I know one of our editors loves Monogatari, but I'm sorry, I can't do it.
I'll co-sign. Now that you told me that part of it, it's like, oh, okay. Now I know which series you're talking about. All right. My next honorable mention,
Go for it.
Dead Man Wonderland.
Okay.
This one, I keep hearing this one I hear such mixed reviews about for some reason. Some people tell me, oh my God, it's really amazing and it's a really good show. And then other people tell me it's like the worst anime ever and makes absolutely zero sense. I know this was on Toonami when we were at one point, or it was at least on Cartoon Network. I can't remember which, but yeah, I have just no interest in this. I don't know enough about it, but God, I never wanted to watch it when it was airing, and at this point, have no intention of watching it at any time.
It almost sounds like spite at this point.
Yeah, no, that might be a good way of doing it. I mean, as I said, some people have told me it's really good, and other people have told me that it's hot garbage. So,
You know, it's weird. When somebody tells me an anime is hot garbage, I'm far more likely to watch it. So if you guys want me to start watching like Demon Slayer or something, just tell me how horrible it is, and I'll gladly get on it.
no, but and from my understanding, they don't like it was another one of those that started before the end of the manga, so they ended it their own way or something
Oh,
in the
good
anime.
lord.
Yeah, from my understanding, and so and that's become a real annoyance with me is because
I've noticed a couple of different times you've brought that up.
well I'm finding out that the anime I watched has a completely different ending than the one that is actually in the manga, and it's like, well, I or in the manga, like Blue Exorcist continues for like multiple arcs now, and but it has technically the anime ended, and then we've gotten one of those arcs.
All right, I've talked about this a little bit before, but if you ever watch the anime Usegi Drop, I'm going to tell you that we joke about wanting to hurt each other, we joke about hating each other, wanting to ruin each other's lives. Once you see the anime, stop there. Don't go to the manga. I'm telling you this to save you. I'm promising you.
Okay.
But yeah, I can understand your spiteful reasons, and in some cases, I respect it. But I don't know. Dead Man Wonderland. I feel like a lot of people have told me the ending is not great, and I can understand that being a little bit of a discouragement.
Yeah. All right. Your next honorable mention?
Oh boy, this one's not going to sit well with some people. Your Lie in April.
Okay.
If I already know it's similar to what you said with Cowboy Bebop, but I'm going to go a little bit further. If I already know the ending and the ending is super sad and depressing, I don't really want to sit through it. Don't get me wrong, I understand that not everything should have a happy ending, but like, no, I'm not look. Sometimes I'm looking to cry. Like I've said before, or I don't care if I don't care. Men are allowed to cry. I don't care. Go for it. But this is not one of those shows where I want to waste my tears on. Maybe it's probably amazing, but it's just no. I'm not interested in it.
Yeah. This one would be one that's like, I wish I had only heard that, hey, it doesn't have the happiest ending or something along those lines, but it's an amazing story. Go watch it. And that I probably would have gone and watched it already. I keep putting like every time I find it on one of like Crunchyroll, Funimation, I put it on the list to watch because I hear it's an absolutely amazing story with beautiful visuals and stuff. But knowing the ending of this kind of ruins it, I think.
Yeah, especially considering it's such a gut punch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But you brought it up. I have watched all of Cowboy Bebop now, so
Oh, great, fantastic.
so yes, I've watched all of it. So now I can say it's okay.
I feel like somehow that's worse, but yeah, you do you. But Your Lie in April. It's probably amazing, but like you've heard my reasoning.
Exactly, and I'll co-sign it as it's always. I think mine's different because I've wanted to watch it, but I've never felt up for it.
Yeah, yeah,
All right, my last honorable mention.
go for it.
Do you love your mom and her two-hit multi-target attack?
I feel like people have talked to me about this one, but go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just from like all of our reviews and stuff where we talk about different things. Y'all know I love isekai anime. I watch them like all the time, but I don't know what it is. I've looked at this one because this one comes up early on like my lists because most of mine are alphabetical order. So this one always seems to appear at the very top. I always skip over it, and it just seems like it should be a unique concept. So I would like, okay, it's something slightly different. You're traveling the world with your mom, and she's overpowered, and you're average. But I don't know why. I just haven't. I do not want to watch this one, and and each time I am trying to pick a new anime to watch, it's like I stay on it less and less. It's just like, okay, no.
Do you think your mom would like this show?
I don't know. She might.
Yeah, I don't know. It does. Sometimes just based on the title of an anime, I can kind of tell this isn't really for me.
Yeah, and I know isekai have now started developing like these ultra long titles. I mean, this was an example. That time I got reincarnated as a slime is another one, but I really like that one.
Yeah. Then again, I have to kind of call myself out because there's an episode of Gintama called "Women Who Ask What's More Important, Work or Me, Deserve a German Suplex." That's the name of the episode.
And that sounds like an amazing episode title.
It was. The episode itself was amazing too, but that's another point for another day. But yeah, I'm gonna be honest. It doesn't seem great to me. I feel like if you were to like handpick a couple of isekai anime for me, maybe I'd be able to get into the genre a little more. But I've always been scared to make that jump.
Yeah, there's certain ones that are good. Like, okay, I've got a few that are like, this is a good one to kind of introduce you to the genre. It's the basic information. But yeah, no, this one, it could get really good, but I don't know. Every time I've looked through it, as I said, I always seem to skip over it, and it's becoming faster and faster where I skip over it for something else.
That's not a good sign. But yeah, I can agree with that, and I can co-sign. Okay, do you think? Okay, because I'm gonna be honest, I might be able to guess what yours is, but I don't think I probably can't now that I think about it. Do you think you know what mine is going to be?
I almost have a feeling it's something I heavily watched that you've already told me you don't want to watch.
All right, why don't you? Should we talk about what the obvious one is? Like what I've talked about, what you've talked about a lot before that I've never really seemed to want to give the light of day.
Well, there's a ton of it, but I'm assuming it's My Hero.
Okay, My Hero was not on my list, but I kind of just wanted to emphasize a little bit because people get really pissy about this. Not our fans don't seem to care, and I love them for that. But let me explain this. I am not saying My Hero is a bad show. I am not saying My Hero is not something I'll never, ever, ever watch. Part of it is when I first saw it, I was like, it looks okay, but like right now, I'm kind of watching a lot of stuff, so I'll put it on the back burner for now. And then, similar to you, it's like everybody and their mother was telling me, watch this, watch this, watch this. And not just it's good, it's that it's better than the shows you like. Not necessarily, oh, well, it has moments like this, like, oh, well, Deku's kind of similar to Naruto in the sense. No. It's like, he's better. He's better than Luffy. He's better than Naruto. He's better than any other show you were about to mention. I'm like, oh, well, I was about to mention My Hero, so is he better than. No. Oh, but that still hasn't completely stopped me from wanting to check it out. Just not within like the next 40 to 50 years or something like that, if I'm still alive by then.
I can really understand that. There's a good chance that I probably would, if I had found it later, that I may not have gotten into it, because I found it when season 1 had just finished. So it hadn't hit the big time where it became like one of the top anime of the last 10 years in like ratings, I guess is the best term. So people were jumping and shoving it down everybody's throats, and the characters are likable and all that. But no, I can understand the fan base has really blown it out of proportion.
Are the female characters treated right? Because haven't heard good things about that regard.
I don't know. From my understanding, they're actually treated better in the anime. They get like there's some anime exclusive content that gives them like moments where they're the heroes and stuff that isn't either isn't portrayed exactly the same way in the manga, or it's like a filler episode, but the filler episodes are kind of or have been pretty good because there's usually only one or two. And then
Yeah.
so
Yeah, but like I said, it's not on my list. I just want to clear this up, and hopefully anybody who's tried to shove down my throat understand this, and they're like, I can kind of understand that. My bad, rather than just simply, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. And I'm like, block. Have you ever had a situation where you're like, well, I wasn't really into it, but once they started screaming at me about it, I kind of got it.
yeah, no.
Yeah.
And as I said, I completely understand. That's kind of how High School of the Dead was in high school. They kept saying, "Oh my God, it's great! It's great! It's amazing! You've got to watch it." And I was already not into zombies, and now I'm getting it shoved down my throat.
Yeah, and to be clear, it's not just the My Hero fan base. I don't want to make it sound like it's exclusively just them, but it's just, like I said, it wasn't on my list. I just want to clear that. But the actual last anime that I have not seen, that I don't really have any interest in, and I talked about what number one was. I want to talk about it again. But number two for me, my number two one was Toradora.
Okay.
I've spoken so many times before about how I do not like the idea that the tsundere is always the main character or one of the main characters. I don't like how so much of what they do is justified, how people rarely, if ever, seem to stand up to them and make them more of a character rather than just an archetype or a cliche. Why would I watch another show exactly like that, where I already know the tsundere wins? What makes you think that would be a show that I would want to get into?
Yeah, no, I can understand that because I think I bring this up as like I thought it might be on your list on our last video where it's like
Oh, that's right. I was not happy about that. And yeah, I do recall that. I do recall that.
oh no, because I was because I got confused and I thought it was you said a title and I automatically thought it was that one for some reason. I'm like,
Yeah.
no, but I can understand. Yeah, it's yeah, this anime. I mean, I hear it's good, but it's one of those that one, it's not my style. I like slice of life on an occasion, but it's really this one just never interested me as much as others. I'm trying to think like what slice of lives I've watched recently that God, I had one that I watched like a few weeks ago. Now I can't remember what it is.
Yeah. But it's like I was, and here's the thing: you could tell me, oh well, she has this, and this is what separates her from other tsundere, and that sort of thing. But it's not really my cup of tea. Like I generally, even if I don't necessarily care who ends up with who, because Lord knows I generally don't. Whenever I see the tsundere character, I just inherently root against them. They could be an amazing character. Like I've said before with Nisakoi, I've said the tsundere Chitoge is actually pretty good. She's not a horrible character, but just that she's stuck in that vein of I'm just gonna punch the person I like repeatedly, it really just sours it for me. And it's just an archetype. Like I said, it's a cliche that I feel like it's just been way too overused. And I'm whenever I see something in whenever I see a series and tsunderes are at the forefront of it, it's just an immediate turn off for me.
I can understand that. Yeah, I know a lot of people really like the dairy trait where it's like all the different ones, and but it seems like okay, well, we're making their entire personality one aspect. They're crazy about someone. They're overly silly. They're overly mean, and yeah, I've never been a big fan. So have them have moments where they are mean, where they have, but give them a reason why they're angry. Give them, but then give them a moment where they're happier and sillier. Don't make their entire character that.
Or at least give them some form of comeuppance, because like it's like an anime that we've both get that I feel like I've seen more than you with Soul Eater. Like Soul like will rip apart Maka with general insults and everything, but he'll get smacked. He'll get a book will get thrown at him. He'll get Maka chopped. When you give, like I said, when you give characters comeuppance, whatever they do, it feels so much easier to deal with. But I don't know. Like I said, maybe it's a great show. Maybe it's fun. Not for me. It's not for me. I don't really feel like I want to give it a chance.
Yeah. All right. So my last one.
Sure, but okay, I don't necessarily. Is it the Irregular at Magic High School? Because I feel like you've talked about that before.
No, I debated putting that one on this list. I think of the ones I've talked about, it has a slightly higher chance that I will eventually sit down and watch it.
Yeah, I remember I told you, oh, hey, it's on Netflix again. I'm like, oh, okay. And you were pissed about something you heard about. That was the angriest I've ever seen you. But what's your last one?
This is one that technically I have given it a shot before, but I've never gotten through maybe the first 3 episodes. And I follow kind of a rule that if I can't get into it within 3 episodes, I usually give it up at that point.
Oh, I know what it is.
ReZero.
Oh, never mind. That's not what I thought you were going to say. That's not what I thought you were going to say.
No, I've watched through, as I said, I think I've seen the first 3 episodes, and I've seen at least the first 2 episodes multiple times. I just can't get into this anime. The protagonist is, I just don't like the protagonist. I know some of his relationships and stuff that happen later on in the series, and it's just like, okay, if you're gonna do this, really, he's already unlikable in the first few episodes. Why are you making him more unlikable as he goes further on? And then having other characters who do all this other stuff, it's like, just no. I don't. It's in that genre. It's an isekai. You think I would love it? No.
It's you don't have to beat around the bush, dude. Are you saying you don't like the? Is that the real reason, or is the real reason that you're just really hurt because he broke Ram's heart?
No, it has nothing to do with that. It's, well, I mean, I guess it does because I mentioned that already, but still, I really don't find him likable in these episodes, and it's like, okay, why do I care that he keeps dying? He can keep dying for all I care, and from my understanding, he does keep dying. So,
good Lord, you're a monster. Yeah, but I'm gonna be honest. I haven't given this show a chance either, and I don't really have a reason. It's never one of those shows that people tell me is good. It's just one of those shows that everybody seems to know.
Yeah, and that's the weird part, because I constantly hear, oh, it's good, but not from a person. It seems like it's like a written review. Someone says, oh, it's really good, and then that's it. There's never a description of why it's good, and it's like, okay, you got to get and no one ever says, oh, you have to get through 10 episodes and then it gets really good. It's like, well, I don't really know if I can sit through 10 episodes of crap.
Oh, then you're not going to get through Hitman Reborn, because Hitman Reborn takes about 30 to 60 episodes to actually get going. At this point, you're like, what's the point? What is the point?
It's just so the last 15 episodes are good.
Yeah.
That's sad, but no. It's just, as I said, I really don't like the main character. It seems like it's an interesting premise where the character, he dies and he resets that same day or whatever it is and can relive the moments and try to do better. I just never, as I said, I can't get into it. I've tried it at least twice, maybe 3 times to watch it, and I have no intention of going back and watching it at this point.
Yeah, like nobody seems to know how to sell me on this show either. Like nobody ever talks about, oh, the only moment people seem to bring up is, like I said, the moment with Rem, and like it's memorable, but that's all you're giving me. But I can co-sign. I honestly thought you were going to say Konosuba, if I'm being completely honest.
No, but that would have been another good choice. I tried to pick things that we really haven't talked much, if at all, about.
I'm gonna hold you to that for some future videos, but I'm not sure even if I'll remember that.
I mean, I've watched a few new things recently, so I've got some new stuff that I can add to lists.
Yeah, and I've added a bunch of new stuff to the list, and I'm also going to be going on vacation the next couple of weeks, so hopefully I'll have more time to watch it.
All right.
Yeah, but ReZero, I can co-sign on to that.
Okay, then I think that's about it.
All
Have
right.
anything?
No, I was gonna close this out in all honesty.
All right.
All right, so ladies, gentlemen, and others, what is some anime that you don't think you'll ever give a chance? Give us some reasons. And if you've seen any of the anime that are on our list, let us know. Should we actually give it a chance? Because I'm going to tell you, there's some that, like I said, I have to put my foot down. It's a no. It's a no. It's an absolute no.
Yeah, a lot of these are just kind of over the top, I think, and too much to really want to watch.
Yeah, and you mentioned earlier, oh, well, if we start making money off of it, we have to. And, like, you know, maybe if we set up a Patreon or something like that, but I don't really feel like going through that right now. But if you still want to see us suffer somehow, like, subscribe, comment, give us a rating, just anything you can do to help us grow, so that way you can find more stuff that we don't like and send it to us like, oh, they'll like this, and then laugh when we're just completely miserable, because you guys like doing that to us. But anyways, take care of each other, hydrate, stay off drugs, all that other sorts of stuff. And we will see you next time. This has been Alex.
And Richard.
And you have been listening to the Anime Egotists. Good night. Peace easy.